try and put them into progress. If you could perhaps put them into groups online, no, not groups, into pairs. So with your neighbor, your nearest neighbor, just break up into twos and just discuss what we covered last week. I'll give you 3 minutes, yeah? If they go back, have a past life regression 1 week. And just you can John. Just 3 minutes, yeah. Online, we're going to try to put you in groups here. Just bear with us. Not groups or pairs. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Haribol, I need to get a bell. Bell's good for this. Let's get a bell. Okay, sorry to cut you short. Hare Krishna. Please excuse us online. We're attempting to create little groups online, which you can do with Zoom. So that was our first attempt and we failed completely. So please excuse us, but we'll get some feedback from you online as well. Wow, we have Jai. Wajal, welcome. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us. Hare Krishna. All right, so if you could just share what your neighbor shared, a couple of you, 2 or 3 of you, last week. Yes.
We were just recalling that there was the acronym CONSH,
Yeah.
which broke up the chapter into different sections.
Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Yeah, and that's coming up in the next slide. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Can share what your neighbor shared?
Auspicious signs.
The
auspicious signs that the Pandavas.
auspicious sign of the Pandavas, yeah. Like, for example, what were the auspicious signs there? A certain victory for the Pandavas.
Hanuman's flag.
Hanuman.
Transcendental Kanch.
Transcendental Kanch.
Krishna's on the side.
Yeah, Krishna's on the side.
The chariot.
Yeah, Agni's chariot.
Agni's chariot, yeah. Hanuman roared. Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Yeah,
And the victory, like if Krishna is with them side, then the victory is
Yeah.
Mata, like her
Yeah.
life is with them as well.
yeah. I've got this ferry monster going around. Okay. Anyone online? You can just, sorry we didn't put you into pairs, but we'll have a go at that next time. Oh, there's a pair there, husband and wife. That's all right. All right, so something from last week from a couple of devotees online. We want to keep you involved.
We spoke about Bishad Yoga as well. Bishad Yoga, distress.
Right, yeah, what was that? Vishad Yoga?
This is a there's a way. It's also one type of way to connect with
Yeah.
Krishna.
What does it mean, Vishad?
Distress, like sadness. When
Dis-
you are stressed.
Yeah. Yoga through distress. Interesting name of the first chapter. Yoga through distress. Okay. Yeah. Anything else from someone else online? Let's have a couple of you. We might have covered most. So remember we spoke, we got into the Mahabharata a bit, didn't it? Didn't we? We told a few stories. What about the character of Dhritarashtra? I'll not finish that anyway.
After time.
He's like the mafia.
Mafia Don. Mafioso.
It's kind of the main antagonist.
Yeah, anyone online, can you remember some of the Mahabharata which we got into? What stories did we tell?
Hare Krishna. There was one part saying that Dhritarashtra wasn't only just physically blind, he was spiritually blind as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he was known as to be, as well as physically blind, he was spiritually blind. That was manifest by his attachment to his sons, despite his sons being pretty irreligious. Yeah, that more or less led to the battle, amongst other things. Yeah, something else in this world. Yeah, yeah. Remember that story we were told of Dronacharya and Drupad? Yeah, who was Drupad's son? Drishtanuma, and he was born from a sacrifice to kill who? Dronacharya. And what did Drona do?
He taught
He taught him.
Hard to kill me.
Yeah, he taught him how to do it, so it was quite intriguing. All right, well done. That's quite good. So let's last week comparison of the armies after Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, Samaveti Yuksava, Mamaga Pandavastiva, Kim Kovata, Sanjaya. So the comparison of the armies, wasn't it? And we gave a little bit of extra there. That how many actual henis on the Kaurava side? 11. And on the Pandava side? 7. Yeah. But the might of the warriors was on the side of the Pandavas, actually. Yeah. So comparison of the armies, we mentioned there's lots of long names there there's quite a lot of politics behind who's joining each side. Remember we told the story of Salva, who was actually coming to join the Pandavas, but he ended up joining the Kauravas because he got well hosted on the way. Quite amazing, huh? Then omens, we covered that in just now, auspicious omens. Transcendental conscious.
I asked about Salva because I thought for a Kshatriya your word is your honor. You've given your word. And
that's the thing, that he did give his word. He said, whoever has laid out this banquet for me and my army, I will do anything they want. And then Dhritarashtra came out and said, oh, you can join my side. So he stuck to his word. Yeah, it's a Kshatriya, yeah. And yeah, this is where please draw my chariot between the mist of the army, so I can see those who have come to please the evil-minded sons of Dhritarashtra. Yeah. So, and then tell us something about Arjuna's compassion. Online, you can anyone can unmute and say Arjuna's compassion. It was something about that. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so Arjun felt remorse. He felt a little bit bewildered whether to fight or not to fight.
Yeah.
And because he comes from a spiritual background,
Yeah,
he felt as though I should be more compassionate. These are my teachers, these are my kinsmen, etc.
Yeah, very good. Great. Yeah, excellent. So that was exactly it. It was a sign of Arjuna's being a great devotee. Yeah, it wasn't a sign of his fear. Yeah, he was feeling compassionate, but that wasn't happening on the other side. Okay. Yeah, so Arjuna's compassion as a great Vaishnava. Yeah. Although he's been through so much, yeah, at the hands of the Kauravas, at the hands of Duryodhana, etc., still he's hesitant to kill them. Yeah, because of compassion. Yes, Mother Lisa, yes.
So by killing the elders of family, then it will cause
Yeah,
degradation.
that comes up. Yeah, well done. That comes up next. Heritage. And he gives, remember, he gives, if we kill the men, if we kill the sons, if we kill the fathers, then what would happen? Yeah, then the women won't be protected. Then that would lead to, what's the name? Unwanted population. And that would lead to hellish society, where family traditions will fall apart. And everything will go to pot. Go to hell. So yeah, well done, Hare Krishna. And perhaps quite important, Arjuna's 5 arguments, which we'll get into this a bit today as well, why he didn't want to fight. We'll just mention one of them.
Compassion.
Compassion is one. Yeah. That's the first one, actually. Well done.
Sin.
Sin, yeah, he's concerned. According to Dharma Sastra, if he's going to kill his reverend grandfather and teacher, his sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors, he says to Krishna. Yes.
He didn't think he would be happy either.
Yeah, so in other words, he didn't think he would have it, so that means he's concerned about his enjoyment. Yeah. Okay, I may get the kingdom, but it's going to be at the cost of killing my own family. How can I sit there in my nice garden and not feel happy when I've just killed my family? So how can I enjoy? Yeah, so compassion and overcome with sinful, destruction of the family. This is the reason he gave, we just mentioned that. Fear of sinful reactions. And what's the other one? Yeah, he's just bewildered.
He's not even convinced of his own arguments. He's open to suggestion.
Very good point. He's not convinced of his own argument. Yeah. So confusion. Yeah. So indecision.
He wants to go to the forest.
Yeah. Shall I become a sadhu? Will I become sadhu? Or shall I renege my duty? Yeah. Okay, well done. That was chapter 1. And we did quite well last week. Excuse me, I think I rushed it a bit at the end. Perhaps I think I did rush a little bit at the end. I was desirous of finishing the first chapter. So anyway, now let's go into the second chapter. I'm not expecting to finish this chapter today. It's like 72 slokas. I think it's the biggest. How many in the 18th chapter?
78.
78, yeah. So next to the 18th chapter, it's the biggest chapter. But this is contents of the Gita summarized, and this is the sections that we'll be covering here. I try not to elaborate easily, I just bring them up. So 1 to 3, we'll look at that. Told by Krishna to fight, yeah, give up such petty weakness of heart. So we'll look at that. There's 3 verses. Then Arjuna takes the position of a disciple. Yes.
We have a few printouts.
Oh yes, Hare Krishna, thank you for reminding me. Yes. For those of you who requested printouts, we have some. Who requested? Hard copies. No? Well, there's certain devotees requested them, so that's how many we printed.
Is that in the study guide?
Not yet,
No, okay.
not yet. It comes
But
next.
then I'll take them, yeah. If you want to share, you don't have.
You can have access to the slides online.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, give me a shot.
yeah. Should Now, for those of you who do have access online to the slides, and for those who have the hard copies, you have to excuse me because I tend to change the slides. Nothing drastic, but I change them a little bit here and there. So you're still going to get what's been shown here, but there'll be some slight differences, you know. Sometimes I take out some words, I move some things around on the slide. I was doing that for a few hours yesterday, moving things around. Okay. So Hare Krishna, everyone's still with us online? Yes, Hare Krishna. So, yes. All right, so let's just go through this. Yeah, now this is an interesting part, 11 checks 11 to 30. We're speaking about Shankya, where Krishna will be speaking about the soul in an analytical way. Okay. Then he's going to appeal to the Kshatriya within Arjuna to fight. Yeah. After describing about the soul, he's going to apply to try and inspire him from another angle. And we describe that. Yeah. To his Kshatriya blood. He's going to. And this is where Krishna starts his instructions. Very wonderful verses. We'll be covering, whether we get there today, I'm not too sure. Let's see. And opulences offered by the Vedas, by looking at that. Yeah, Nishkam Karma Yoga, we'll be looking at that. Yeah, of one's transcendence. Yeah, Arjuna asks questions here. This is probably, we'll be lucky if we get this far today, up to 54. And
I don't think it's been posted online.
Sorry?
I don't think it's been posted online.
We online?
I will add the media file link.
Yeah. I think
Okay, oh yeah, so you can, yeah, so Pacho's going to add it online, so you can get it online. You can download it from a media file. I sent it to you, didn't I? Yes.
Are you putting it on Moodle?
I'm on the WhatsApp.
What's that?
Oh, what's that? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Arjuna is asking some questions now.
That's right.
After he's heard about transcendence,
Thank you.
Arjuna's heard about transcendence, and now he's asking, what does it look like? What does it practically seem like in a person? So asking that. Okay. All right, Hare Krishna. So let's look at text 1 to 3. So I'll just check here. Yeah, so anyone has Bhagavad Gita with them, they could read the verse in English. I have it here, just in case no one does. Someone could read it out loud for us.
I can read it, Prabhu.
Please, go ahead.
Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words.
Yeah, so Ashru Punuka Lekshanam. So Arjuna's eyes are full of tears. Yeah. And also he calls Krishna Madhusudana. I'm not going to say why he's addressing Krishna Madhusudana here. Hare Krishna, welcome.
He killed a demon called
Madhu. And so, yes, so you can kill my doubts. Yeah, that's what Arjuna is saying. Yeah, you have killed the demon Madhu, and I now am overcome with doubts. So he's addressing Krishna. You please, yeah, you please get me out of this state of mind. Oh, Madhusudana. Yeah. Yeah, Krishna Prabhupada explains in the purple. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon of Madhu, and now Arjuna wants Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in his discharge of his duty. So what is one of the issues with Arjuna? What does he become overcome with? Just stepping back a little. We didn't mention it in the points, but it just come to mind.
It's the fear that he has to fight against.
You mentioned it, but he's become, in the bodily concept of life, he's overly identifying himself as being a member of a particular family, which is, yeah, to the point of neglecting Krishna's instructions. Yeah. So he's and Prabhupada in the purple, he speaks about compassion. Yeah. He says no one knows where compassion should be applied. You know? So sometimes we get asked questions about this. I know some people read Bhagavad Gita. I heard one person, he'd read Bhagavad Gita. He wasn't a devotee, but he was very impressed by the character of Arjuna because of his compassion. But then he said, and then this guy Krishna comes along. Who this guy Krishna is, I don't know. You know, he wants to, you know, he's hungry for war. No, I think so. I had to explain the whole thing about the history of the Mahabharata, and it's arranged by Krishna, you know. So what do you think about that? Krishna's Arjuna's compassion. How is it misplaced? A bit more on that. Yeah, that's going to come out. He has a, so it's misplaced. He has duty. He has a duty. So it's not very.
He's thinking on the.
Sorry.
He's thinking on the bodily conception of life. He's thinking as a in relation to the body, not the eternal soul, in terms of his eternal duties.
Yeah, yeah. That's so as you mentioned. Prabhupada says compassion for the dress of a drowning man is
Senseless.
useless in the body concept of life. He's like feeling compassion, but he's feeling. But it's just sometimes we do this skit. We used to do this skit on Harinam. I don't know if you've seen it sometimes, where a devotee, they'll be doing Harinam, then Harinam will stop, and the devotee will go into the crowd and say, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, save me, save me, save me. Then another devotee will go over, swim like this, and wrestle his coat off, and come back and say, I've saved him, I've saved him. Well, really, he is drowning. You know? So we don't condemn materialistic welfare work. We don't condemn it. It plays a role in society, and it's good. But actually, the real thing you can do for someone is give them transcendental knowledge. You give them knowledge about the soul. This is the best thing you can do for someone. This is the best charity you can possibly do. Like there's many charities out there on the street, you know, but the most charitable persons are the Vaishnavas. Yeah? So this is mentioned, you'll find when you study the nectar of devotion, this is spoken about. Just as a side as well, there's another place in the Srimad Bhagavatam where someone becomes compassionate, but it costs them their spiritual life. Again, it kind of misplaced compassion. Jad Bharat, yeah, he became very compassionate to a little deer. And it cost him his spiritual life. Yeah. So Prabhupada highlights here, it says, no one knows where compassion should be applied. And he mentions about compassion of a drowning man. Yeah. And he calls someone who is lamenting for the outward dress. And you can look in your purple, look in the purple. What does Prabhupada say? What is he? Someone who over laments. Sudra, yeah. Well, I've got there for it. Sudra, Prabhupada mentions that. So it's always full of lamentation, Sudra. Yeah. And the citizens always doing protests, no? Always complaining. All due respect. We're probably with Sudras as well, but the Sudras complaining, you know, always complaining, nothing's right, you know. So Prabhupada mentions here, one who does not know this about the outward dress and no compassion for the soul, and is lamenting just for that, that's Sudra. Yeah, it's a Sudra mentality. Yeah, laments unnecessarily. Yeah. Now, then Prabhupada brings it out a bit more. He says that Lord Krishna, that the Bhagavad Gita the Bhagavad Gita is for the purpose of dissipating the lamentation of the people in general. So this is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. That's why Prabhupada mentioned, that's why it was sung by Krishna. Okay? to dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man. Yeah, so it plays a very important role. Yeah, are you still online? Everyone can hear? Still, Hare Krishna. Okay, someone said something there, you can hear? Okay. So let's go on to next text. Yeah. Verse 2. So someone could read the translation for verse 2. Perhaps have someone online. Someone online, you could read the translation for verse 2.
The Supreme.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all benefiting or befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy."
Yeah. So indirectly, it's mentioned there. Krishna is calling Arjuna what?
A fool.
Oh, yeah. You're a fool. Yeah, yeah. And my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They're not at all befitting a man who knows the values of life. And what is Prabhupada using the purple? Someone who knows the values of life. It's a word that's misused a lot. Aryan says Aryan. How do you pronounce that? Aryan. Yeah. Someone whose life is based on spiritual principles. They're based on progressive spiritual principles. Yeah. And so here, now, just for your interest as well, to your self-study questions, there's a self-study question which relates to this purple here, okay? Just so you can take note of this. So, the 6 symptoms of Bhagavan. Yeah, you're asked to list the 6 symptoms of Bhagavan, because Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, so Prabhupada in the purple, he elaborates on Bhagavan, yeah? Elaborates it in 2 ways. And the 6 symptoms of Bhagavan in English. So we could say them, we're kind of familiar with them.
Beauty, wealth, renunciation.
Say?
Beauty, wealth, renunciation.
Yeah, just give one.
Beauty.
Beauty, yeah, Bhagavan, beauty, wealth, strength, fame,
Renunciation.
and knowledge. Yeah, I think Prabhupada quotes Parashamuni, yeah, Srila Vyasadeva's father, who kind of coined these, if you want. This is Bhagavan. This is definition of Bhagavan. But so Krishna has these in an unlimited degree. Yeah. So any of these opulences which we see here, it's coming from who?
Krishna.
Krishna. Yeah. So sometimes I like to see here that if you see, for instance, Krishna has unlimited wealth. If you see someone with more wealth than what you have, and you're finding yourself feeling a little bit envy, if you see someone put up in a Rolls Royce car, we have some rich patrons, they put up in a Rolls Royce, and often I like to watch when these big men put up in their big cars, you know. Yeah. There's Rolls Royce, what's the other big car? Mercedes. Bentley, yeah. I always like to watch the expressions on people's faces. But some people make out they don't even see it, but they're making out. They're making out. They can see this big shiny Rolls Royce and they're dying to have a look. No, I won't even notice it. Other people, they got a scowl in their face, you know. Why? They're envious, yeah. So that means if you're envious of someone who has opulences here, you're not qualified to come before Krishna, because you'll be envious of him. Yeah. If you're envious of someone who has more beauty than you, more knowledge than you, you know, then you might not be ready to come before the Supreme Lord, because he has it all in unlimited degree. Yeah. So these 6 opulences are a good definition to give of, and Prabhupada would often give it when persons would challenge themselves to be God. Yeah. So do they come up to this mark? Do they have these 6 obviouses? So that's, you might be asked that question in your closed book examination, to list in English or Sanskrit. So it depends, you might want to go for the English if it's a bit more easier. Okay, so it's a good little tip off I've just gave you. And yeah, so Krishna tells Arjuna his many good arguments are ananya jushtam. They are not befitting a Aryan. Yeah. And he will not go to, his impurities will not take him to Swaga. Yeah. That will lead him to a kirti, infamy, which is infamy, infamy, yeah. A kirti karam, yeah. So in other words, Arjuna will become famously infamous, yeah. He'll be an infamous, yeah. And after death, he will not go to, after death, in Chatras, we know, during the wars such as Kuru, etc., everyone who dies in this fight will go to the heavenly realms. But if Arjuna leaves the battlefield, so, and then, oh, what happened here? Yes. So then Prabhupada, but then in the purple, he speaks about these 3 things here, yeah, which is a good thing for us to be aware of. Yeah, you can see it pointing behind me, hopefully it's there. Bhagavan, Brahman, and Paramatma. All right. So just take 1 minute, just look in the purple and just read over what Prabhupada says there. And then each one of you can explain, yeah, one of these aspects, Brahman, yeah. Stay with the purple. I give you 1 minute. Okay, I think that's 1 minute, perhaps a bit less. I think hopefully some are familiar with this, Prabhupada's presentation. Prabhupada quotes from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedanta, what's the verse? Vedanta, yeah. So the absolute truth comes in 3 features. So let's start from the bottom, okay? What's one of the features? One of the features.
Raman.
So let's just online can go next. We have someone, Sajika Manima. Yeah. Brahman. So someone else could just describe about Brahman. What's it mean? What is Brahman? It's an aspect, it is the absolute truth. Brahman.
Emanating.
Sorry?
Emanating aspect, the effulgence.
The effulgence, it's coming, sometimes described like that, the effulgence that's coming from Krishna. And everything is situated within that. Yeah? Called Brahman. Any other definitions of Brahman?
It was described as a ray of sunlight. It was described as a ray of sunlight.
Yeah, similar.
It's kind of like just getting the sun, the ray, but you're not on the sun or in the sun.
Yeah. So who's the what's the name of the transcendentalists who absorbed in Brahman? Brahmavadis, yogis, Mayavadis, yeah, yeah. So they're experiencing God, and it's quite a profound experience. So they're quite convinced that there's nothing more than what they're experiencing, you know. And what's the symptoms of Bhagavad Gita? I'm testing your Bhagavad Gita now. What's the symptoms of one who's absorbed in Brahman? Realization, where they're realizing everything in one sense is extraordinary. Everything is divine. Everything's coming from Krishna. It's situated in Krishna's energy. So that means one is free of the pettiness of materialism. One is thinking broadly. Yeah, one is not just, one can see more than Tesco's and more than Sainsbury's. There's something divine about this existence. There's something extraordinary. Everything has a spiritual aspect. So what's the symptom? There's a verse comes later on.
I'm never separated from, he's never separated from Krishna.
Yeah, it's not what I'm looking for exactly. Satyanima, you have a pandit here.
Hankering or lamenting.
Yeah, it doesn't hanker for anything. Doesn't hanker. He feels so complete. He or she feels so complete. There's nothing further to be had. And for all the messes that we've made, has anyone ever made a mess in their life? Does anyone get any lamentations? You wish you hadn't have done that. Oh, I wish I hadn't have done that. I wish I hadn't done that. Yeah.
No, perfect.
Just a few things.
Yeah. But once you realize that, Brahman, once you realize all of that just goes. And what's the other one? Except such command Nima, you think he knows the verse. There's another symptom. You're a friend to everyone. You have a friend, your heart is clean, your heart is pure. So you're naturally friendly to everyone, you're open to everyone. Normally this material world makes us closed, isn't it? It can close us up, But when someone realizes Brahman or this aspect, one becomes free of all lamentation. But you have to go, but there's further to go. So someone could tell us something about Paramatma. It's kind of a bit easier. Paramatma. Xander, what's the Paramatma?
Super.
Yeah.
So the localized aspect of it.
Yeah, Superman in the heart, super soul. Yeah, so that's described. We're gonna read about that in the Bhagavad Gita. I think in the 8th chapter or something, it described the dimension of the soul. It's described conscience. Anyone heard of good conscience? Yeah, most people have good conscience, and that's the Lord trying to inspire everyone to goodness. Yeah, to goodness, even if it's not ultimately religious principles of loving God, still the Lord's trying to encourage everyone to do good. It's amazing, and the more we're in a mode of goodness, chapter 14 will describe that. Is that right? Chapter 14. The more we'll be in tune with the Lord within the heart. And it's not as if we'll be hearing a voice. We'll be naturally acting according to the direction of Krishna within the heart. Yeah. But then there's a class of, I better not try and say too much in every verse, so we're not going to get very far. But there's a class of persons who take pleasure in going against that good conscience in the heart. Yeah, called demons. Yeah, demonic. Yeah, they take a devilish pleasure in going against the good conscious, good direction going in the heart. And Krishna speaks about them in what chapter? 16. Yeah, tells where they go. Yeah. All right. So then we have Bhagavan, which we just described in one sentence. So that's Krishna. Okay. So how does Prabhupada explain it? You read there in the purple. What example does he give?
Medicine, sunshine.
Sunshine. He says the three. So just if someone else can explain.
So Brahman is the ray of sunlight.
Brahman is the rays of sunlight.
Paramatma is the surface of the sun.
The surface of the sun.
And then the inside of the sun is Bhagavan.
Bhagavan is, yeah. So the further you get, the more details are given. So go for Brahman. And if you worship, there's no need to attend a Brahman school first, okay? Then a Paramatma school, then a Bhagavan school. You just worship Krishna and all the subordinates will be realized. Yeah? So Prabhupada speaks about that there. Bhagavan, he speaks about it in a few places. Bhagavan, Brahman, and Paramatma. 3 divine aspects. Yeah? Prabhupada explains there. Okay? So let's go text 3. Of course, any questions that come up, please feel free to ask. Okay? Yes. Someone could read, yeah, text free. Then we have another self-study question here. So text free, someone could read text free. Yeah, if you pass the microphone, which we're trying to get used to passing the microphone to whoever's speaking. That allows persons online to hear very nicely. Yeah.
Text 3. O son of Buddha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise for chastiser of the enemy.
Yeah. And Krishna calls Arjuna Partha. Why is he calling him Partha?
Son of Buddha. Son of Buddha.
Son of Pritha, which is?
Kunti.
Yeah. So he's coming.
Kunti is another name.
Yeah. So in other words, Arjuna is coming from a great heritage. It's coming from a great heritage. Yeah. Also, Arjuna is the son of who? Indra. Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't. So it's not becoming of him. So, in other words, he's accusing Arjuna of impotence and weakness. Yeah. Such degrading impotence. That's the worst thing you could tell a Kshatriya. You have no power, man. You're impotent. You have no power. It's the worst thing. So he's slapping Arjuna. He's slapping him. Nice. He's not actually slapping him.
That's what a good friend does.
Huh?
That's what a good friend does.
Yeah, it'll wake you up a bit, you know. So you have a self-study question here. What's the meaning of Kashuddham Hridaya Dhobhalyam? Now, if you look in the purple, it says it directly. What is the meaning? Good searching. The question.
Pettiness and weakness of heart.
Yeah, pettiness and weakness. So the question is, what is the meaning of the phrase Sudam Hridaya Dhobhalyam? So you just write those 3 words. Say those 3 words again.
Shudram Hridaya Dhobhalyam.
English. Petty weakness.
Okay.
Yeah. So give up this petty weakness of heart. So weakness of heart. I think Prabhupada speaks about there that weakness of heart has to be overcome in a spiritual life. Yeah, we have to become strong-hearted and determined to follow the principles and the vows, etc. Yeah. So Klaibya means it's here. I'm sure I got rid of these transitions, but they're still here. They're haunting me. These transitions. So Parantapa.
Subdue the enemy.
Yeah. Parantapa means?
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Please, yeah.
Enemies.
What's the difference between being weakness of the heart and soft-hearted?
Yeah, good question. What's the difference between weakness of heart and soft heart? Vaishnava is supposed to have soft heart. It's a very good question. Go on. Someone else can answer.
I have an answer. I heard a devotee told me that, well, weakness of the heart means someone is not enthusiastic about serving.
Yeah, weakness of heart is someone who's not enthusiastic. Okay. Any yeah. Microphone, the furry monster.
Heart is one is unable to act as per what is right, and the heart is so weak that you will be able to take the right decision.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very nice, for sure. Everyone heard that? He's not able. So weakness of heart, they're not able to act according to what should be done. Yeah, there's a weakness there. So softness of heart, Arjuna, compassion. Yeah. So thank you. Is that okay? I think that's a very good answer from Pachur as well. It's okay. So Prantapa, again, Prantapa, what does it mean?
Chastiser of the enemy.
Chastise of the enemies. So Krishna's using quite some good words here, you know. Yeah, Krishna, Prabhupada in the purple, he's speaking of someone of such high birth, he's acting more like a friend of a Kshatriya and not a Kshatriya. You heard this word, Brahman Bandhu, someone who's not acting according to Brahminical qualities, even though they're born in a Brahmin family, so they're considered to be a friend. So same with Kshatriya. Arjuna is born in Kshatriya, he's born in a very high Kshatriya family, yeah, fearless warriors, but he's now Kshatriya Bandhu. Yeah, speaking like of just a friend of a Kshatriya. Prabhupada says, if the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he's a Kshatriya in a name only. Yeah. So Krishna has not accepted any of Arjuna's arguments. Okay. And he begins like this, you fool, speaking such learned words, But now he's going to dismantle the arguments one by one as we go through second chapter, and also throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita. Krishna will smash or will take all these reasons for not fighting to pieces. Yeah.
So can you say Krishna is a little tricky in the sense that when Arjuna is speaking about compassion, then he's accusing him of being on a bodily concept of life, even though materially it has some sense to the point. But then now he's saying to him, well, you're not acting as an Aryan, you're not acting as a proper Kshatriya.
Yeah, so that will come up in the next section as well. He is addressing the Kshatriya in Arjuna. Yeah, he's going to try inspiring from, because it's going to bring out the Kshatriya in him, So we will get to that. Okay, so now we're going to go on to, if anyone wants some water, there's some water there, by the way, if you want. Okay. Well, okay with the temperature in the room? Let's open the window a little, isn't it? Get some air. All right, so we've got to move on a bit. So everyone's still with us online? Okay, so text 4 to 10. Sure, I got rid of these transitions, but all right, so now Arjuna, let's read the verse here. Okay. I'll just read the verse here. Got here. So Arjuna speaks, Arjuna Vacha, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? Puja Horu, Puja. You want me to kill them, but these persons I should be worshipping. Yeah. So Arjuna here, there's one commentary here. Arjuna wants to know that his decision is not due to strong-heartedness. He's saying it's not weak-heartedness. It's not. I should be worshipping these people, and you're asking me to kill them. I should be offering puja. That's why this word here, puja whole, yeah, he's saying. And Prabhupada mentions in the purple, even a verbal argument to one's superiors transgresses Vedic etiquette. Right, so please remember that when you're dealing with your superiors. A verbal argument transgresses Vedic etiquette. Yeah. What to speak of fighting and killing them? Yeah, Prabhupada brings it out, And this is something from Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. I think I brought this out a little bit here, but by addressing Krishna as Madhusudana and Arishudana, Arjuna calls his attention that Krishna is the killer of his enemies. He didn't kill his grandfather. He's guru and his grandfather. Yeah, but now Krishna's asking him to do that. So he says, I prefer to offer flowers at the feet of Drona and Bhishma, not arrows, okay? So quite strong arguments, isn't it, that Arjuna brings out, Right, so look at text 5. Yeah, someone could read text 5 for us. Online, on site, whoever gets there first.
It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live by the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood.
Right? So again, one of Arjuna's reasons for not fighting is he won't be able to enjoy it. So everything will be tainted with blood. Yeah. Yeah, so Kshatriyas, it'd be better to live in this world by begging. So he wants to give up being a Kshatriya and become a mendicant than kill these great souls. Yeah. And Arjuna is serious as well. So, but Kshatriyas don't beg. That's the most unbecoming, insulting thing for a Kshatriya to beg. They give beggars. They give mendicants. There's some Kshatriyas, they would take care of thousands of Brahmins, hundreds of temples. Yeah, they don't beg for subsistence. But Arjuna is now contemplating becoming a beggar. Better to live in this world by begging. No? So, yeah, again, Kshatriyas do not beg, they rule. Okay. So in other words, he's aware of the embarrassing situation, but rather than he'd rather be a beggar than to have to do something so sinful as killing my relatives. You know, he'd rather be a beggar than to kill his superiors. So in one sense, that's indicating it's good, isn't it? In one sense, yeah, he's soft-hearted as being a Vaishnava. Rather than kill my superiors, I'd rather be a beggar. You know?
So he's willing to forego his own dharma and risk ridicule because of his soft heartedness.
Yeah, at least at this point he is. Krishna will test that. Yeah, at this point he is, but he doesn't actually do it, but he's thinking about it. Yeah, and Krishna will remind him later in his first chapter of what people will think of him, so that helps him change his mind. You know, like that. You know, so it's text 5. So superiors should be worshipped. Okay. So this is the 5th reason why Arjuna is in his indecision. Someone would like to read the 5th verse.
No, do we know which is better?
It's gone 6. Why is it 6? Verse 6. So verse 6. Sorry, excuse me. Go on.
Yep.
Sorry.
Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live, yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield.
Yeah. So indecision. So he doesn't know what to do. If he does not fight, he will have to beg. If he fights and wins, he kill all his friends and relatives. So he's confused about his duty. Now, Prabhupada glorifies Arjuna in the purple. Here, perhaps you can look in the purple to this verse 6 and see how in what way, how is Prabhupada glorifying Arjuna.
Could I ask a quick question on that?
Please, yeah.
When we read this, we were a bit confused that in the purport it said that still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. And I was wondering, with the Mahabharata, they were like awful to the Pandavas. And why would it be difficult for them to die in their absence? And then related to that, there's confusion in the purports where Srila Prabhupada's commenting on Arjuna's material lamentation and compassion, and that's this, and that he's simultaneously saying that this compassion that he showed was highly enlightened and the symptom of being a great devotee and having complete control over his senses. So it seems like there's two things.
Yeah, this is the first point. Just say that first point again.
About in the purport saying that if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it would be very difficult to live in that absence.
You're saying, considering what's happened up to this point, so this proves Arjuna to be a great devotee, a great Vaishnava. What did Prahlad pray for? His father tried to kill him in so many ways. Yeah. So a devotee is not his enemy's enemy. Yeah. Someone may feel enmity towards a Vaishnava, but a devotee doesn't feel enmity towards those who are doing him wrong. So this is Prabhupada, I think he brings this out as well. This is the greatness of Arjuna. Same as Prahlad. That, yeah, how many ways that his father tried to kill him, and he's praying for his well-being to Lord Nrsingadev. So it'd be difficult for us to perhaps really appreciate that fully, but that's the Vaishnava. Yeah. So the first and the second point, try and, again, a bit brief, try and make it bit. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada's commenting on his material compassion, saying that it's material compassion, but at the same time glorifying him, just as he just said, as being a great devotee and in complete control of the senses.
Yeah, this is the point which I think I asked you to find, yeah, in the purple. Someone could read a little bit from the purple, what Prabhuji is commenting on here. Just a glorification of Arjuna. Lisa, you could do.
All these considerations by Arjuna definitely prove that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses.
Yeah. So he could do it. He could just renounce the whole kingdom, leave everything behind, and take up a begging profession. Yeah. That means he's not attached in one sense. That means he has control of his senses. It's described here, as you mentioned. Yeah.
Unless the
Go on.
control, unless the sense of self-control, there is no chance of innovation to the platform of knowledge. Without knowledge and devotion, there's no chance of liberation.
Yeah, so here also, all these considerations by Arjuna definitely prove that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in a royal householder, is another sign of detachment. Yeah. So this is Arjuna is a very, I could say, very deep person. He's a very great Vaishnava. So you're going to see these different symptoms. He's feeling compassionate. I don't know if we answered your question. Did we address it?
Yes, that was wonderful. It's just what last point with it of like, so is it that he's willing to give everything up for it. He's able to give up all these royalties to be a beggar, and he has this compassion, but it's just that it's misplaced, and that's why Prabhupada's saying it's material compassion.
Yeah, good. So yeah, there's a time and place to be compassionate. On a battlefield is not one. It's the wrong time, man. Yeah, no time for getting compassionate here now. You know? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Does that allude to Guru Tattva in the sense that this is Arjuna, Prabhupada glorified in having all these qualities, and even then there's that little subtlety of not knowing. So ordinary conditioned soul without guidance.
Yeah, that comes up. He will surrender to Krishna. Sishasitam sati tvam mampanam. At one point he was surrendered to Krishna. Yeah. But just keep in mind, at one point, Arjuna will put all of this aside. All these reasons, and they're quite deep, and they're sastric, He put them all to side and he will agree to fight, and not just whimsically, but fight with full enthusiasm. And that comes at the end, yeah, the verse there. But Krishna will tell him, anyway, we will get there, tell him how to fight in such a frame of mind. Yeah, yeah, we'll get there. Okay, so verse 7. Okay, someone could read verse 7. Let's have someone online read verse 7.
Now am I confused about my duty, and I've lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
So kapanyato sobhata swabhava pachamitam doma samoda cheta. So we have a self-study question here. What's the meaning of the phrase? Well, let me just make something smaller here. Dharma samodha chetaha. Look in the word to word. Dharma samodha chetaha. You're asked to give the meaning. Those who have your Bhagavad Gita. Dharma. Go.
Religion for Dharma. Samudha.
Bewildered.
Dharma samodha chetaha.
Cheta.
So the meaning is?
Confused about my duties.
Yeah, I'm confused about my duty. Yeah. Now I'm confused about my duties. So that's what it means. Dharma samodha chetaha. Yeah. I've lost all composure. Yeah. So Arjuna's based his reasons not to fight on 3 things, you could say. One of them is, we mentioned
superior killing,
compassion, logic, and Sastri. He's quoting from a specific, is from Dharma Sastras, but the result is that he's confused. Yeah, he has the Dharma of a Kshatriya, so he's his reasons based on compassion, logic, and Sastra. But what's the result? He's become confused. Yeah, doesn't know what to do. So Arjuna wants to remove his confusion. Yeah. So someone could tell us something that Prabhupada says about that in the purple. Srila Prabhupada says that on our own we will always be
confused.
Confused, yeah. What did Prabhupada say in the purple about the duty of
to surrender to spiritual master?
Yeah, that's it. That's the principle. Yeah. Life brings with it very confusing situations and circumstances. So that will come up in the next few verses. Yeah. So that's why it's incumbent to us, just like Arjuna is now surrendering to Krishna, and his mood is going to change here. Let's go on to text 8. Okay. Yeah. Now this is one of my favorite, wonderful purple from Prabhupada here. Someone could read the first paragraph. Now I'm going to the purple of this verse, the first paragraph. You need the microphone. Okay, you get the first paragraph.
By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse.
Okay, so very important point here. So, by nature's own ways, a complete system of material activities is a sort of perplexity for everyone. So, has anyone experienced being in a situation where it's a hurricane or something like that, or earthquake? No.
Not at the moment.
I've been in a tornado
In a tornado, okay.
in Florida. We went on holiday, we reached there and it was in action before we actually landed.
Mhm.
Yeah, we didn't even know that that was actually happening. And the curfew and the lights were out and we couldn't even drive out because all the signs were off.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop anywhere to ask a policeman for directions. So
The policeman
we
will
were
help.
round and round the airport for a couple of hours. We get to the hotel until after about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And in the morning when we got up later, when we saw the devastation and we thought, oh my God, what has happened here? So that was our first day of a big holiday. Yet, I think because we were with a family and we didn't really lose our spirits and we did carry on with the activities that we had to do. But yes, it was very devastating. It's on the record as well, 1998.
Yeah.
This was, but yeah, it's,
Anybody else experience on earthquakes or anything like that? Or we're living in a part of the world where we don't see that much of things, but there is parts of the world where it's like experience this type of thing all the time. But I'm sure we experience the perplexities of life, isn't it? When we're going through life. I mean, that's one of the reasons we probably came to Krishna consciousness. One of the reasons we took in earnest reading Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Although the things seem to be set one sense, but sometimes it's confusion. What's the purpose? What's the meaning of life? You know, what am I supposed to do here? You know, so then we're supposed to approach a spiritual master. Someone is supposed to direct us through the maze of this material confusion. Yeah. And then for myself, before I joined, I had a job, I had a well-paying job, I had friends, I had a situation, a social setting, but I was depressed. I wasn't finding satisfaction. You know, I was doing the things my friends were doing the things that we should be doing as youngsters, you know, in that age, but I wasn't happy. And there was nothing else for me to do outside of what I was doing. So I was completely bewildered. I was kind of going through this, what's it called? Existential crisis. Existential. I was going to work and doing the things, but inside I was kind of, didn't know what lie I couldn't see. And at that point, I read Science of Self-Realization. Wow. It's like,
Prabhuji,
wow.
can I ask something?
Please, yes.
Yeah, the same thing which you said that you thought, the thought came in your mind. My 12-year son, he asked me the same thing, but he asks and he cries.
Really?
I'm really confused. Yeah, I'm like, what should I answer him? Like, what's the point of life if we all have to die? Why God gave us birth and why we should do it? Because everything is just illusion and all those things. And he's just 12. I'm like, sometimes I get scared the way he asks me and he cries, like he's really sad.
Well then,
what should I do? I should like ask him to have a good, go under somewhere or just leave everything or what?
no, mother, you should play the role. You have Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, that's why I'm doing this course. If I can answer him better,
Now
clear
you
his doubts.
played a role, giving some spiritual guidance. Yes, spiritual guidance. Yeah, my son, there's more to. Yeah, there is the death does not end, where the soul's eternal. So it sounds like it's a great opportunity to try and give him some spiritual guidance found in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah.
I
Now
don't want to go off the track, but just like he asked me, like, but then why God created us? Is it a game for him? Like, what is the purpose? If we all have to go back to him, if he can control everything, then why he let the war or the bad things happen? You know, those kind of things.
all right, you've got some reading to do, Mel.
Yes.
You've got some explaining to do. Good. Hopefully these classes can help you in the reading through Bhagavad Gita.
Hopefully, yeah. Thank you.
Anything else here? Sorry, Hannah. Yes.
I was going to say the pandemic was a bit perplexing as well.
Yeah, good point. Take a moment.
That was just a point out. Yeah, I mean, it seemed as though everything that we knew kind of got turned upside down in a sense.
Yeah. So this is what happened to Arjuna. He's going through his own pandemic. So everything's been turned upside down. Good example. Such a command. You got turned upside down. What normally seems quite set out, all of a sudden gets turned upside down. So that can happen at any time in material life. Therefore, as Prabhupada says here, as we read, he who is the man in material perplexities. It is he who does not understand the problems of life. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human, and who wants to quit this world like cats and dogs, without understanding the science of self-realization. The Kripana thinks he is able to protect his family members from death. The Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him on the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals, who also take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious, and now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Okay. And now Prabhupada, then he has to go he says here, how Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. Yet foolish, mundane scholars explain that one need not to submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishnas within and without. Anyone who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool. Prabhupada speaks in this line many times throughout the Gita. And for your interest, he's speaking about a specific commentary on the Bhagavad Gita given by an ex-president of India, Dr. Radhakrishna. All right, Prabhupada is. All right, so we'll stop at 12 o'clock for break here. It's good. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. Text 9. Verse 8, excuse me, verse 8. Someone would like to read verse 8?
I think last verse is the first verse to remember.
Okay, well done. Thank you. Yeah, let's go back. This is the first. This one, huh?
Verse.
Which one?
What we were discussing.
Okay, verse 7. This one, yeah. Right, this is I didn't have it here. I should have had it noted. Okay. So this is the first verse to learn, one of the verses to recite. And it said, does anyone know it yet?
Read it.
You cannot read
Oh,
it.
that's the first
Memory verse.
That's
It's the first memory
okay.
verse. It's
I'll
it,
make note of that.
it's a longer verse. You have all the list of all the verses, but for your information, this is the first one. You know, damos some order da. Okay. Okay. Verse 8. Okay, with 72 verses in this chapter, we're only on verse 8. Don't worry, some verses are grouped together. So someone could read verse 8 for us. Just English.
I can find no means to drive away.
The microphone is there? Microphone.
I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty, like the demigods in heaven.
Yeah, so again, this is another wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada, and I really didn't want to just go forward and miss this. So what if you could do, perhaps online you could do it individually, because we probably won't get the groups together. Yeah. So if you could here on site, if you could get in twos or threes, whatever, and just look at the purple and note down some points which are for you, wow, amazing, and we'll share these points, okay? So I'll give you 3 or 4 minutes for that. So
You just mentioned to them that they should join the group, they should just be proactive in making join.
okay, so we're going to try put you into groups again. So what you have to do, you're going to get a prompt on your screen that's going to ask you to join a group. So you need to press that. You need to activate that, and then you'll go into a group. Okay? So clear online. So you'll be prompted to join a group. Yeah. So get together, twos, not individually. Just have a look at and share notes on the. I guess you're reading individually. But share notes, pick things out from, there's some very important points in this purple, which is very relevant today. Yeah, number 8. So just spend 3 or 4 minutes looking at that purple and take notes. You still get together, at least you can get together, and 3 at the back. I don't know any
Doesn't matter whether it has to be for.
Not working. They're not online. Oh, they're just there's somewhere else. Yeah. That's
Yeah, it's not gonna be hard. It's not gonna be hard. It's not gonna be hard. You could have all the materials. The general. Yeah. I like this. Yeah, yeah. That's a really nice. I guess that's the thing with holidays.
Where did?
The elections. Yeah, interesting, yeah.
One second. Sorry? I think so. I'll have to get back to you. Can I get back to you on that? Or back to confirm later, yeah? Need a bell. Okay, Hare Krishna. So let's a little bit of sharing of what you discovered there in Prabhupada's purple, and if it what it kind of meant for you. And this anybody, let's online also devotees that may got my microphone on. You also could put things in the chat if you want. You have the option, so you can disband into groups now. Yeah. Right, I think we was a little bit successful there in the groups online. We're just trying this out. So perhaps let's just hear from devotees online first. Just share some things that you read in the purple. And what is Prabhupada saying in the purple? And how's it relevant to today's situation? Is it?
Yeah.
Anyone online?
Prabhupada said that without a spiritual master, I mean, we cannot solve like the real problem. And I mean, maybe you wanted to hear something else, but I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah,
I can.
That was the last purple. Papa may have said something similar here, but something else.
Economic development cannot solve the real problems of life. Things that people are normally pursuing, like family life and nationalities and importance of nations and politics. The real issues in life will be solved by one's relationship with God and surrendering to Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, very good point. So the real issues in life go a bit deeper, you know, it can only be solved by connecting ourselves up with Krishna. Yeah, so Mother Lisa, stand up.
Stood up where it says if economic development. if economic development and material comforts could drive away the lamentations, but lamenting for family, social, international identity is not something that's found within our society.
Yeah, but that first part is, just read the first part again.
If economic development.
Yeah, that's it. If economic development could solve the problems of life, there'd be no anxiety. Well, it depends on where you live, I guess.
It's how the anxiety is described, because we don't, in society in general, attachment to your family and your country and what have you, that's not considered something that's going to bring you sadness at some point.
Yeah, but the point is that some of these attachments can cause you grief and anxiety, just like Arjuna, isn't it? His attachment to his family is called him grief and anxiety. So, for instance, for those who identify with being, say, from Palestine, they hate everyone from Israel. And vice versa, Russia, Ukraine, yeah, they identify themselves as being that member of that particular family. And what happens when the family pass away? If you don't have an underlying principle of spiritual knowledge about the soul, it's going to cause a lot of anxiety. Yeah. So it gives people shelter, but also, as Prabhupada said in the previous purport, that one thinking that one's family can save one at the time of death, or you could save one's family members. You know? Yeah, well, good points. Anything else? Yeah, we go to Satchikamani Nima.
Yeah, we were highlighting that point about one who knows the science of Krishna consciousness, irrespective of whichever family they're born into.
Yeah, go left. Yeah.
That then they're qualified to be a spiritual master, not just by virtue of being born in a Brahmin family.
Yeah. Someone knows the science of Krishna consciousness. You may be born in Sudra family, whatever, or less. Yeah, anything else for this purport?
No,
Microphone, yeah.
Which says that economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment.
That is finished at any moment.
So even elevation into a higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking to go to the moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke.
Yeah.
So
one stroke, just like we had the COVID, no? One stroke, one little germ about this bird, completely for everyone. One stroke.
Therefore, want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So Arjuna asks Krishna to solve this problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, so it's very, very relevant to today, isn't it? So Arjuna has realized, even if I go to heaven, it's not going to be, I'm not going to find relief from stress and anxiety yet. Any moment. Yeah? It just so happens Russia have got their nukes lined up for UK. Any moment. Boom. Yeah, any moment. Yes, man.
I was just thinking on that point, Paul, that if there's so much attachment is there, then next life, while this war is going on, you come on the opposite side. People you hate.
Yeah, if you're thinking, I hate Russians, and you Ukraine, I hate Russians, and you're dying, I hate Russia. You're going to go next life. And then in next life, you'll be saying, I hate Ukraine, I hate Ukraine. Yeah. In some sense, material life has a bit of amusement about it. But yeah, anything. Yeah, someone online.
I used to say in the Bhagavad Gita classes here, I mean, there's a line that says, so many births you and I have had, you can't remember your previous births. I can remember my previous births. Krishna said, and the way I used to explain that is, you've had so many mortgage problems and relationship problems and romantic problems in your previous lives. Why are you so obsessed with the ones in this life? So it's a sense of wrong attachment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, can you say that last sentence again? I just missed it. You got a bit muffled there.
So on that verse, I used to say that people have relationship problems, mortgage problems, money problems in their previous lives, and dating problems in their previous lives. So why are they so obsessed with the problems in this life, which they've had many, many lives beforehand? And then Krishna says, you can't remember your previous lives, I can remember. So we have this constant attachment.
Yeah. So we're carrying the baggage, life after life, life after life. Yeah. Okay, so let's stop for 15 minutes, okay? 12 o'clock, let's get together. This is 5 minutes fast, okay? So go by your watches here. We'll get together at 12:15, okay? Hare Krishna. Take some water there if you want. Some water. Any admin questions you can ask or okay. In progress. Okay, you're being recorded. Look out. Hare Krishna. Right. So let's move on, so to speak. Okay, let's. Everyone's okay online. Hare Krishna. You still hear me? Hopefully. Let me. Yeah, my mic's not muted. All right.
Hare Krishna.
So we're going to edge on a little bit. I won't go too fast, but I want to get through a few slides. So now we're on text 9. Okay. So Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of the enemies, told Krishna, what did he tell him? Govinda, I shall not fight. And fell silent. Yeah. Prabhupada highlights in the purple the use of the word. This is Sanjay speaking. Sanjay said. Sanjay interestingly uses the word parantapa. Now, Dhritarashtra might have been quite excited at this. Arjuna is telling him he is not going to fight, no doubt. But Sanjaya knows that Arjuna, and he knows the Pandavas. So Pranta means, Parantapa again, it means chastiser of the enemies. So, in other words, so Sanjay is disappointing the blind king that Arjuna is very competent to kill the enemies. So you don't think it's all over. He's turned to Krishna. So don't think you've got it all won, you know. So for the time being, he might have thought Arjuna's going to give up the whole thing, but no. So Sanjaya says, Parantapa, you're Parantapa. Yeah. It takes into verse 10. Now this is where Krishna's, Praharshan. Here, the word Praharshan means smiling. Right? So this is quite intriguing here. Arjuna is at the end of, he's having a major breakdown. Everything is crumbling before him. He does not know what to do. Of course, he surrendered to Krishna. So at that time, Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So he's smiling now. Why is he smiling? Praharshan.
Is it possible that he might be proud of?
Might be proud if he's got a really good disciple. Wow, I've only got a good disciple here. Great. Could be. Yeah, Mother Lisa.
Because he's going to be able to speak.
Yeah, why is he going to be able to speak?
Because of Arjuna's doubts, he can explain everything to him.
Yeah, because Arjuna is in a very, very receptive mood now. Yeah, very receptive. So Krishna's smiling. Of course, Krishna knows the whole scene. He's the supreme person. But still here, Arjuna is in an eye position as a disciple. So Krishna's smiling. Now he can impart to him and everyone, us, transcendental. So Krishna, smiling in the midst of the armies, spoke to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So just read from a note here. He will now act as Arjuna's spiritual master, and talks between the spiritual master and disciple are serious. Yeah. Therefore, Krishna smiles as his friendly affection gives way to parental affection. Oh, yeah. He's his friend now. He's going to be guiding him. He's going to be helping. So it's a similar guru and disciple. Yeah. That's why this verse is important. It's an important verse to know. It's your first learning verse. Yeah. Now I'm your disciple, the soul surrendered unto you. Yeah. Very important point in spiritual development.
This might be a silly question, but in the sense that Sanjay's got the divine vision, how much are we reliant on his influence, or is it word for word what Krishna is saying that he's repeating? Because you said Sanjay uses word. So I'm thinking, is there some of his interjections in with it, or choice of words, or how much?
We just get what we have is what we have. Yeah, although the commentators, and I'm going to, I will play it. I wasn't too sure how much time we have. This narration, which I put up on the Moodle, if any of you've listened to it, by Purna Chandra, he brings in some added narration on this conversation given by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, you know? So we'll play that for your interest. It's just a few minutes. I haven't done it for every section. I didn't have time. I had a major issue with my computer last week, and but so let's play. Let's go text 10 here. We got that. Right, so this is a recital just of the verses which we're up to now, okay? So you can, hopefully you can, oh, we lost our admin man. Hopefully online you can hear this.
Arjun, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the values of life. They do not lead to higher planets, but to infamy. O son of Trita, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up this petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Arjun speaks. Krishna, this is not impotency. It's discrimination based on religious principles. When I see Bhishma and Drona, my heart feels for them. This is weakness of heart, Arjun. Give it up. You are Partha, the son of Indradev. It's not weakness, but compassion, Krishna. Give it up, Arjun. Get ready to fight. You are Parantapa, chastiser of enemies. Do not become the object of ridicule. But how can I fight men like Bhishma and Drona? Why shouldn't you fight with them, Arjun? Because they are worshipable, Krishna. I should offer them flowers, not arrows. I would rather beg than live after having taken the lives of my superiors. I am ready to give up my fame and take up begging. At least my future will not be spoiled. Besides, great souls like Bhishma are not fallen, and therefore should never be disrespected. Bhishma has lost his greatness, having been purchased by Kaurva grains, Arjun. Still, killing him will cause me misery, Krishna. The spoils of victory will be contaminated, having been acquired from that lowly duodenum. O Krishna, I do not even know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If I kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, I shall not care to live. yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Fight or beg, Arjuna, the choice is yours. Which is better, Krishna? Who will win? You will win, Arjuna. You are pious and a great fighter. But I do not desire to live or win. What to speak of enjoying a kingdom? Oh, Krishna, I am confused about my duty. I have lost all composure because of my miserly weakness. Please tell me what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Hey, Parton, your scriptural arguments and logic are so expert, and you have already decided to beg. So what is the need of my speaking? Principles of religion are hard to understand, Krishna. Please instruct me. Whatever I speak will simply defeat with your scholarship, Arjuna. No, I surrender, Krishna. No more counter arguments now. The Shastra says to approach a guru, but I'm just your friend, Arjuna. So I'll become your disciple, Krishna. Now teach me. I'm your friend, Arjuna. I cannot be your guru. Go to Vyasadeva. But no one else can help me. Not even Brihaspati. No one else can remove this distress. Just fight, Arjuna. That will remove all problems and distress. There's no need for me to be your guru. The distress will go when you win the war. No, winning the war or obtaining a kingdom on earth or even in heaven will not help, Krishna. Even if I die and go to heaven, I won't be satisfied. What I want is transcendental knowledge. Winning the kingdom or going to heaven are both temporary. Sanjaya speaks. Arjuna then told Krishna, O Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. O king, at that time, Krishna, smiling in the midst of both armies, began to speak to Arjuna.
Hare Krishna. Nice, that was interjection with commentators, give you a mood of where we are up to now, okay? It was good, I'd like to hear that, enter into the spirit of it. Okay, so now we're on another section, now text 11 to 30 here. Someone could read text, forgive the slides. Someone could read the translation to verse 11. Verse 11. Whoever gets there first, online, on site.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you're mourning for what's not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead.
All right, so Krishna has accepted Arjuna's surrender. And again, immediately he begins to correct it. He begins to, now Arjuna is acting as a disciple, so he begins to chastise his student. Yeah. So although he's speaking like a wise man, he's speaking from different sastra. He actually doesn't know what a wise man should lament for. Yes, it describes here. Yeah. You're mourning for that which is not worthy of grief. Those are actually wise. So Arjuna's quoting scripture. But now Krishna is saying those who are actually wise, they don't lament for the living nor for the dead. Okay. So he shouldn't have posed himself as a learned man. Yeah. So again, he's calling Arjuna a fool, in one sense, you know. So Arjuna's words, they're called Dharma and Rajaniti. So Dharma according to statementship. Yeah. So, but that doesn't take into account the difference between the body and the soul. So he's speaking all this niti, all this sastra, but it seems like he hasn't even understood what any farmer in a field in India understands, that there's a soul and a body, yeah, that the body dies and the soul is eternal. Seems Arjuna's lost that point. He hasn't understood that. You're quoting this, you're quoting that, but you don't understand the basics. That were not this body. Yeah. Prabhupada says here, Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than politics and sociology. But he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme are even more important than religious formalities. All right, so he's given arguments based on niti, based on religious formalities. But more important than that is knowledge according to the soul and its relationship with the supreme. You follow? Yeah. So, Shibagano Ashotano Shotiston began the Pase Katasam Cha Nano Sojati Pandita. You're not a Pandit. Yeah. And let's have someone read verse 12. Let's have someone online read verse 12, just to make sure you're still there in front of your computers. I'm sure you are.
Never was there.
Again.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future, for any of us is to be.
Yeah, now Prabhupada in his purports, everyone heard that? Never was time when I didn't exist, nor you, nor these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So Prabhupada, in these quite elaborate purport here, and on the next verse, he speaks about how this verse defeats the Mayavadi philosophy. So if you could read in the purport, and you could try and find that. You don't have to read the whole purport, stay at the beginning, I think. So in what way does this verse defeat the Mayavad philosophy? Yeah, just have a quick look. Got it ready. And we don't have time to read the whole purport, but I think. Okay, Sebastian, please.
So it says that individuality is maintained.
Yeah, to explain a bit more. How does this verse exactly?
Individuality of past, also.
Yeah.
It has confirmed individuality in many ways, and the Christian power has to be
Yeah, that's it. So what's the Mayavad philosophy, in essence, then?
One, we're one.
Or one, yeah. There's no difference between Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Remember the top? In one sense, the absolute truth is one. But there's different differentiations, different aspects. There's the Para Brahman, there's the Jiva is also Brahman, there's also Para Brahman. But Mayavad philosophy is saying everything is one. And to see a difference, that means Maya. Yeah? When you realize the non-difference between me and you and everything else. So this verse, Papa would often quote, yeah, it never was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. We are always individuals. And what else? Anyone pick out anything else from Papa's purport? Yeah. Online, anyone? Welcome to share. Please, yeah. No, not quite.
When if we are eternally existing, we're not merging in that sense, unless we really want to.
Yeah, I guess the same point. If we're eternally existing, there is no point. There is no point where we're lose our independence, where we lose our individuality. And the Prabhupada gets into more detail things there in the purple. Yeah. Na tvam eva to do na sam na tvam neva to na dipa na cheva na bhavishamaha sabhavaram mataparam. There was time when I didn't exist, nor you, nor in the future, any will cease to be.
And individuality is not just a material concept, spiritual concept as well.
Yeah. Papa mentions that?
Yeah, it's in the commentary.
Yeah, you can elaborate a bit more for us? Just read a little bit there.
And Mayamadi may argue that individuality spoken of by Krishna is not spiritual but material. Even accepting that argument, that individuality is material, how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna affirms his individuality in the past and confirms his individuality in the future also. He's confirmed his individuality in many ways, and an impersonal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him.
Yeah.
Krishna's maintained spiritual individuality all along.
Yeah.
If he accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul and individual consciousness, his Bhagavad Gita has no value as an authoritative scripture.
Yeah. So Krishna is just an ordinary person. What's the point of listening to Bhagavad Gita? Yeah. So yeah, thank you. All right, let's have a look at text 30. This is another well-known verse. Prabhupada would often quote. A lot of his preaching was based on this here, on this principle. Someone could read text 13.
As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The sober person is not bewildered by such a change.
Yeah. So there's no cause for lamentation for Arjuna on the death of Bhishma and Drona. Yeah. He's so concerned, but in other words, he should rejoice for their getting new bodies and from old bodies to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. And Prabhupada again, he goes into, Prabhupada speaks about the Mayavad theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that the spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. Okay, so what's Prabhupada mean there? The spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion.
You cannot harm it.
Yeah, you cannot harm it, but
it's not subject to material action.
Subjected to action. Yes.
It's not subject.
It's not subject, excuse me. Yeah.
Individuality in the farms.
Yeah.
It cannot be merged. It's a unique constituent as it is.
Yeah. The idea from the Mayavad philosophy that if you practice a particular sadhana, then you will realize the oneness. Yeah. But actually, we are always individual. It's not as if we became fragmented. And now to realize that we have to do a certain type of sadhana, and again, we're going to merge back into, we are always individuals. Yeah. Prabhupada explains a bit more details there. We don't have time to get in all to the details that Prabhupada brings up here. But he does bring up here this word Sanatan that we used last week and also the week before, that the portions of the Supreme exist eternally. Sanatan. Yeah. They have a tendency to fall down and become covered, yes, but they exist eternally as individuals. Mayam so jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. The individuals are always individuals. So always have been, always will be. Okay. All right, let's have a look at text 14. Someone could read text 14 for us.
O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in the intervals
Quick, microphone.
are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception or sign of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
Yeah. So, okay, so the soul's eternal, and we understand, Arjuna understand, but still, has anyone had the experience where someone close to you has passed away? We all had the experience, and
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
yes, we know. And we understand about the constitution of the soul. So Arjuna is asking the same type of question. Okay, but still I'm going to be in distress because I'm never going to see Grandfather Bhishma again. Never going to see these people again. And that's what the experience I had when I think when my father died. He just says he disappeared from the face of the earth. There's no way you can see them again. Nothing you could do. It's gone. So the commentators explain that Arjuna brings this up. But this is why Krishna then brings in this verse about distress. But won't I be distressed? It will cause distress. And Krishna says, yes, but it's temporary. Yeah. That's what it says. Machas pasas tukuntaya shatusna sukutukada kamane ponichas tamtitiksha bharata. Yeah. And Prabhupada mentions here, okay. One has to follow the prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge. Because by knowledge and devotion only can one liberate oneself from the clutches of Maya, illusion. So I'll just ask a question here. What's the relationship between following religious principles and the development of knowledge?
Krishna says in first part of the fifth chapter that both Sankhya and devotional service lead to the same place, lead to the same conclusions of understanding the relationship with Supreme.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm looking for something else here, though. You're right in one sense. Yeah.
Knowledge has realization, with following rules and regulations. Sometimes you can do possibly whimsically or without understanding having a realization.
Yeah, because again, one has to follow prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge. And then from knowledge and devotion only can one liberate himself from the clutches of Maya.
What's the question for us?
Is how does just linking up, following the rules and regulations, how does it lead to knowledge? I mean, what you said is not wrong exactly, but
Said when you follow regulations, you do it blindly because sometimes before us is doing it on our parents. So when we do it with knowledge, we try and understand why we are doing what we're doing.
yeah, someone online had something.
Murli Prabhu, is it that if we follow the prescribed rules and regulations, then Krishna will reveal knowledge to us?
Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, the other question answers were right, but this I wanted to focus on this point. We are following whose rules and regulations? Krishna's, yeah. So following his shiksha, from that from that comes knowledge, and from that comes detachment. Yeah. So we follow the instructions that Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita, and then knowledge will manifest. Yeah, if we lead a regulated life according to the instructions of Krishna, then we will perceive the knowledge from within our heart. Yeah, Krishna will. This is described in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, for those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. I, dwelling within their hearts, destroy the shining lamp of knowledge, the darkness born of ignorance. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me, so following the rules and regulations, serving Krishna, then knowledge will manifest, then knowledge comes. Because by knowledge and devotion, only can one liberate oneself from the clutches of Maya, illusion, sex. Yeah. Yeah, here Prabhupada also mentions Two different names of address given to Arjuna are also significant. To address him as Kunteya signifies his great blood relations from his mother's side, and to address him as Bharata signifies his greatness from his father's side. Yeah, so both sides have a great heritage. Okay, so everyone still with us? A few tired-looking faces out there. Hare Krishna. You're doing well. You're doing well. You're doing great. Hare Krishna. So let's. Someone can read text 15. It's follow on from text 14.
O best among men, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation.
Yeah. And this is mentioned again and again and again throughout Bhagavad Gita, of being equipoised, yeah, in the face of the dualities of the world. Yeah. Dualities were going to have the face, no doubt. But to be able to remain equipoised in both, is it this? Yeah, it comes up here. So again, the verse is up front. The person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So what does it mean to tolerate happiness? Okay, when you hear you tolerate distress, all right, you tolerate distress. But what's it getting at here? Yeah, Mother Lisa.
Temporary.
Yeah, basically it's temporary. But doesn't mean we go around here, everything's temporary, you shouldn't be happy at all. Don't smile, it's temporary. Some anxiety coming. We shouldn't become intoxicated and forget the purpose of life. You know, say all of a sudden you get an inheritance of or you get an inheritance of £2 million. Will you chant your rounds the next day? Where will your intelligence go? What will your plans be? You become intoxicated with a material, seems like a good material situation. But don't forget all of life. Otherwise, what's going to happen? Anxiety is going to come. Yeah.
That's why Prahlad Maharaj doesn't want all the wealth that Lord Nrsimha turns up.
Yeah, also Dhruva Maharaj wasn't very, so Prahlad wasn't very, he was just, he was offered, Prahlad and Dhruva Maharaj, So one should continue one's spiritual pursuits, no matter what the external situation is. Normally in distress, we take more the spiritual practices quite seriously. But when there's not so much distress, when things may be going okay, the tendency might to become forgetful and intoxicated by that material arrangement. So, or best among the men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress, and is steady in both. So, wants Arjuna not to be disturbed by the dualities, but to do his duty of fight.
On this point?
Yes, please,
I was just wondering, is it possible, is this stage that is, this explanation in this purpose, is it relatable to the Nishta stage then, or is it possible to become steady in by not being disturbed by happiness and distress in also beneath the Nishta stage?
Can anyone say what that question was? I couldn't quite grasp it.
I can repeat it.
Try again. Sorry, could
yes.
this
Can we achieve this this position to not be disturbed by happiness and distress also when we are under the Nishta? So like in an anatomy, can we also be like not disturbed, because it's speaking here about being steady in happiness and distress. So I was just wondering, can we attain that stage when we are in the Nishta state only, or can we also become steady when we are in anatomy, let's say, or whatever?
I think your microphone's out.
It's something with your microphone, but it's difficult to understand. What you can do, please put your question in the chat, okay?
I think she was talking about Nishta state. Happiness, distress, and the Nishta state.
Vishnu, yes, I thought that's what you were saying. Is it possible for us to attain that freedom from the dualities?
Yes. Yes, it's a whole, if that's the question, a whole, we're going to be in a world of duality, but it's not going to affect us. Prabhupada speaks in one place, just like a flame, it kind of quivers in the wind, you know, it quivers. So the more we identify with the body, yes, thank you, Satchikamani. The more we identify with the body and the material world, the more we will quiver. Yeah, we will feel according to the modes of material nature. But the more, if we understand the question, the more we become fixed as a devotee, fixed in our bhakti, fixed in our devotion to Krishna, the less we will quiver in the face of the dualities of this world. Did that answer the question, Robert? If we understood the question. Silence, I guess, means yes. Hare Krishna question. Something in the chat here, let me just look. No, that's yeah. All right, so how to tolerate in happiness and distress. But now we're gonna yeah, let me read from the purple here. Anyone who is steady in his determination for the advanced stage of spiritual realization and can equally tolerate onslaughts of distress and happiness, to tolerate the onslaught of happiness, okay? Is certainly a person eligible for liberation. All right. Because you're interested not just in, again, back to this point, in temporary flickering happiness, you're interested in eternal spiritual happiness. You'll become eligible for that happiness if you do not become intoxicated by the material so-called happiness. Okay? Right, now, what I want you to do now, you can do this. I think it's going to be easy individually for everyone. But I want you to look at text 16 to 30, okay? This is where Krishna speaks about the soul. Yeah, gives words to describe the soul. So I want you just to read through these texts. And if you have paper, you can just write down the words that Krishna uses to describe the soul. Okay? So verses 16 to 30. Is that clear? Everyone online? I give you perhaps just over 5 minutes for that, yeah? So 16 to 30. Just note down how Krishna describes the soul. So, and then we'll give you five more minutes, okay? Hare Krishna.
Just from the verses or the purpose?
You can look in the purples as well, if you pick up anything from the purples as well. I'll give you 5 minutes for that. Perhaps 6 minutes, something like that, okay? How's everyone doing? You ready for
Verse 23.
23? Keep going. It was amazing me how sometimes you see these conferences where people are getting together to describe or to try and understand the existence of the soul or not. Everything is so clearly described in Bhagavad Gita. Exactly what the soul is, where it's situated, its constitution, everything so clearly. And why they don't just accept.
I think there's a
Sorry, go on.
I think there's a good interview in the Science of Self-Realization with Prabhupada and a famous surgeon, where the surgeon says he's seen he's know there's a soul for the way people die. He's seen a lot of people die.
Yeah. And what? Yeah. Well, what's the surgeon's conclusion?
And the soul must exist in the way he's observed death.
Yeah.
After if the operation goes wrong, he's seen a lot of death, so you can see this happening. Things leaving the body, consciousness leaving the body. Yeah.
There's a definite change when the soul leaves the body. I was present when my father died, definitely. It was very educational in one sense. So Krishna describes here about the soul in many different ways, So let's look at these. It's good, if you get, sometimes we have to attend funerals, we're asked to attend funerals, and They like to hear from, you want to speak from Bhagavad Gita, this is where you're going to speak from, you know. Matra spasas to kuntaya, happiness and distress, part of the world we're in. The soul is eternal, you know. Because you're not going to say it in a preachy way, but you do want to give them comfort that their loved one is a soul and has not died and they still exist. They died, but now they've gone on. Yeah. So what's some of the words which we came up with that describes the soul? Just shoot them out, brainstorming them online as well.
Small.
Small, it's atomic. What's the actual size? 100,000. If you get a tip of hair, you chop that into how many pieces? 100, chop that into nothing. So it's atomic. So Prabhupada mentioned cannot be seen by the
enemy.
Naked eye, cannot be seen by the enemy. Yeah. And just while we're going through these as well, one of the reasons why Krishna's mentioning that the soul cannot be withered by the wind or moistened by water, because they have different astras in the armies, and they have astras which can kill by fire, which can kill by water, which can kill by wind. Apparently, yeah? So that they fire these arrows and they imbibe them with mantra, which causes a whirlwind, for example. You know, there's these powers. So that's why Arjuna, the Krishna is saying, the soul cannot be killed, cannot be withered by the wind, moistened by water. So some other things. What did you come out with there?
Indestructible.
Indestructible.
There's no birth or death.
No birth, no death.
Amazing.
Imperishable. Imperishable.
Imperishable. We'll bring up that amazing verse later.
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. It cannot break into pieces.
Unborn.
Unborn. Yeah. So keep that in for us. We cannot be breaking into pieces. It may feel like that sometimes. But the soul cannot be breaking into pieces. We are unborn. The soul's eternal. What other words?
Invisible.
Invisible.
Insoluble. Insoluble.
Soluble. So
Everlasting.
So insoluble means, what does it mean? You cannot melt it down, you know?
Mix well.
It doesn't mix very well. It's insoluble, just like think Prabhupada uses there, oil and water. It's insoluble. Yeah.
Insoluble is generally referred to a solution.
Solution.
Some powder into something, stir it up, and it becomes one.
So it's insoluble. So
it become one with everything.
Yeah, so it remains, yeah, it's insoluble. What other
The
word?
Maya is getting that one. Because it's insoluble, so it cannot match.
Yeah, another one, yeah, it's insoluble. Yeah. It's full of knowledge. It says, which verse is that? It says full of knowledge.
2.20.
Yeah, full of knowledge. The soul is actually, that's what the jiva possesses, knowledge. Full of knowledge. But that knowledge gets covered over. Yeah. Something else?
Because the soul does not deteriorate like a tree or anything material.
Does not deteriorate, yeah.
So is it our soul that's forgetful, or is it just the covering that sort of makes us forgetful? Having put the phrase in.
Yeah, we become distracted by the curtain, by the view of the subtle body. And we invest as self and we identify with the mind. So therefore, that's why Krishna consciousness is one of awakening. It feels like a homecoming.
So do we actually forget, or it's just
Covered. It's like, so becoming Krishna conscious means uncovering. That's why the experience is like a homecoming. It's very reassuring. It's deeply reassuring because it's our natural, because we're remembering our natural constitutional position that's been covered over. Yeah. Yes, Sachikamani Mike.
Two kinds of souls, Anuatma and Vibhuatma.
Yeah, well, very big and very small. What's it?
There's namely the minute particle and the super soul.
Yeah, the super soul, yeah. So someone online, even if you're repeating some things.
The wearer of material bodies.
It's the
wearer of material bodies. I'm inferring that from
the
text 22.
Yeah, Rare of material bodies. Interesting, right? Yeah. It's
The
close.
present,
Sorry, online again?
it says present everywhere, and in one verse it says immovable.
Yeah, we covered in so, but present everywhere. What doesn't that mean?
That as a soul, we are part of the supreme soul of Krishna. So we all are same and we are everywhere. So it's like Krishna is everywhere.
Yeah, once this would be my body's misused this to say that we, the soul, have no distinction. We are everywhere. But no, the souls are everywhere. Souls are in the sun, souls are in the water, souls are everywhere. Yeah? Doesn't mean we are everywhere. It means there's souls everywhere. Like there's souls in this cup, you can't see them, but they're there. Yeah, there's millions of souls in it as well. Germs and microbes, but there's one presiding deity, that's us.
My favorite description is in text 29, which is just amazing.
Yeah. So we'll have a look at that. We're going to focus a little bit on that in the time we have. Yeah.
Immutable, it says.
Immutable. What does that mean? It means you can't. Yeah.
Can't change.
Yeah, I've got a new one that you cannot delete the soul. Even if you put it in a waste bin, you can't delete it. Delete. Copy, delete. Can't delete the soul. You can delete all your files. Can't be deleted, never. But that's what my body's trying to do, no? Going to delete you. Attend this course and at the end of this course, you'll be deleted.
It's a t-shirt probably, like, you know, Microsoft got a t-shirt, Pentium inside, so Paramatma inside.
Yeah. All right, yeah. It's a part and parcel of Krishna. Yeah, very important. Part and parcel of Krishna. Yeah, like the sparks coming from the fire. Part and parcel of Krishna. Yeah, please. Online. Go.
Yeah, I think someone answered my question from the chat.
Say again. It's Mavrini and
Oh, yeah, I was raising my hand if someone answered my question on the chat.
yeah, it's okay. Have it. Okay. Right, so any more did we miss? I'm sure there might be, but I think we got the most of them.
Unborn.
Yeah, important one.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Yeah.
Unborn. There's no birthday for the soul.
And inconceivable. How is that? Can you please explain a bit?
Inconceivable. Well, scientists are inconceivable from the material perspective. It's so small, it's inconceivable.
You can't explain.
Yeah. Although it's giving
with our senses.
Yeah. Although it's giving power to this whole body. Yeah, it's situated in the heart and it's empowering this whole body. Yes. The subject of it is inconceivable to our material senses. That's why we're accepting it on the authority coming from Krishna, who's explaining about it. Right.
So it's not actually in Prabhupada's book, but just an elaboration maybe. Olivia Harrison, when watching George Harrison dying, said that his soul illuminated the room as it left his body.
Yeah.
So it has like great power that, you know, even though it's this 1/10,000th of the size of a tip of a hair, it is a very powerful thing because it transforms dead matter into living matter.
Great point. It's very powerful. Very good point. Thank you. So it's 100,000 size of tip of a hair. It's very powerful. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that point out. So here's something we're gonna. So we've probably got most of these. There's no change. It's eternal. It pervades the entire body. Yeah. It's just like the sun. It's light spread throughout the whole universe. So the soul consciousness carried through the blood corpuscles pervades the whole body. It's indestructible, imperishable. immeasurable. Don't think we had that. You cannot measure it. No birth, no death. Not coming to being, there's not coming to being, and will not coming to being. Unborn, ever existing, unbreakable, insoluble, present everywhere, unchangeable, primeval. What does primeval mean?
Always existing.
Always existing, yes. Immutable. Cannot be cut by weapons, as I mentioned, because they have these weapons. Cannot be burned by fire, moistened by water, withered by the wind. Immovable, invisible, inconceivable. And the soul is amazing. Yes.
Understanding the part that says immovable.
Immovable. What does it mean by immovable?
Take it for a while.
You can move it from it.
Yeah, you can your constitution of soul always remains the same without looking in the purple. Yeah, the constitution of the soul is the same. It's immovable. Yeah. Its truth is immovable.
Previous slides.
Yeah. Okay. You want to see all those words? Oh, I have to bring them all up. It take too long. It take too long. People don't want to. Yeah, sorry, but yeah. What did you want for? Yeah. Oh, you got the slides there. You got the slides. So yeah. So then there's this verse here. So amazing verse, this one. Some amazing people look on the soul. Some could read the verse. I think it's better than what's written here. Could read the translation.
I can do it, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Some look on the soul as amazing. Some describe him as amazing. And some hear of him as amazing. While others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all.
Yeah. And Prabhupada's purple. The fact that the atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal and the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbiotic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space. It is certainly very amazing. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matters for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the question of self-understanding, even though it is a fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat for the struggle for existence. Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, owing to ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the supersoul and the atomic soul as one without distinction or magnitude. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of the self, however, is to accept the statements of Bhagavad Gita spoken by the greatest authority, Lord Krishna, without being deviated by other theories. Then Prabhupada at the end here, someone could read that last sentence, but it also, my computer just cuts it off. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice. How does that sentence finish?
But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous ones, before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way.
Okay, so to understand these truths, it requires some penance, and also it requires practicing the principles of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, then we can have insight and realization to a one degree or another, the difference between our body and the soul. And these are things we have to meditate upon. We have to think about as well. You know, next time you're looking in the mirror, cleaning your teeth, you meditate. I'm not these teeth. I'm not this body. Yeah. But a extravagant materialistic life won't give you much. You won't be able to contemplate these things deeply. It will be like a big joke. It won't be anything serious for you. You'd rather go get drunk than understand whether your soul, you understand? But if you lead a regulated, principled life, then you can have then your intelligence can penetrate these subjects, and you can understand. And you can help others to understand as well, So it just requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice. The principles of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so any questions, comments so far? We're doing okay. We've got 15 minutes. You can hang on for 15 minutes. Overwhelming enthusiasm here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The absolute truth. Yes.
The truth mirror. Every time you look at it, it tells you not this body.
Yeah. You can put it on your mirror and not this body. All right, now we're going into another section, text 31 to 38. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's on the next slide. Excuse me. Got my notes here. Yeah. Oh, 1 second. Krishna. Okay, so now Krishna is going to offer Arjuna knowledge, how he can fight but be free from sinful reaction. Okay, so he's going to destroy his illusion with knowledge, illusion which causes lamentation and confusion. Because if he has knowledge, it can lead to proper action. Okay. Now, at this point, Krishna, as we brought up before, actually, Krishna's going to drop his argument to a materialistic level. Okay, that's right. The duty of fighting as a Kshatriya. Yeah. So he's going to use less elevated principles here. Basically, he's going to ones that give a material reward. Whereas before, Krishna's saying, don't be attached to it. But here, he's explaining how the basically going to the heavenly planets. For Kshatriya. So he's going to, so he's already defeated the argument of compassion. How did he do that? How did Krishna defeat the argument of compassion?
The soul.
About the soul, Arjuna's feeling sorry, the people are going to die. But Krishna's made it quite clear, no, the soul's eternal. But now he's going to defeat Arjuna's arguments of incurring sinful reactions. Arjuna is fearful of accumulating sinful reactions. So Krishna can, so we have this verse here. Number 32. So we're doing well on text 32. Someone could read this one. Text 31, excuse me. Just a translation.
Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than by fighting on religious principles, and there is no need for hesitation.
Yeah. So for Kshatriya, fighting is equivalent to a Brahmana's performance of sacrifices. That is their dharma. So there is no, so you're doing a duty as a Kshatriya. So there's no sinful reactions. If you do your duty. So he's saying, Krishna is saying Arjuna will not suffer sinful reactions in fighting the battle of Kurukshetra. Where Arjuna actually this gets brought up as well, that Arjuna, if he decides to become a sadhu, he gets sinful reactions for not doing his duty. So it's the other way around. Arjuna, if you be sadhu, you'll get sinful reactions. Yeah, do your duty. Yeah.
I don't understand that point. Why? I mean, it's not his duty, but why would you get sinful reaction?
Because it's not his duty.
Or just for that?
It's not his duty. Yeah, you shouldn't do someone else's duty. Krishna describes that 2 times in Gita. You shouldn't do someone else's duty, even if you can do it better than your own duty. Yeah, it's difficult to understand today. Everyone they renege their duties, but because it just causes confusion in society. Yeah, so do your duty. Without happiness or distress, just do your duty.
So you actually incur sin for doing that.
For not doing your duty.
Yeah, for doing some other duty. Yes.
Yeah, if it's not your path, if it's not for you, then it will cause disturbance in your life, you know? So that's why it's good to be clear. That's why Arjuna is not clear on his duty, but he wants to be clear. He's confused. Why is he confused about his duty? Because of bodily concept of life. He's become confused. Yeah, so Krishna is putting, no, you're Kshatriya, you're a fighter, your duty is to fight, and you won't incur sin. Yeah.
So if the Sudra acts like a Brahmana, he would incur sin for that.
If a Sudra acts like a Brahmana, if it's out of his position, if it's not called for, if it's not an emergency situation, yeah. Sudra has his duties. If he has a duty, I'll give it up, I'm going to read all day. No, man, do your duty. Yeah, you're supposed to take care of this and that. No, I'm going to go to the temple, sit there all day.
It's not just that it's wrong, you actually get sin for doing that.
Yeah, so it's it. It's sinful reaction. Yeah. Okay, perhaps I won't ask that question here. I'll go straight here. We have a self-study question here. This one's an easy one, but the answer is quite specific though. What is the meaning of the word Kshatriya according to the purple in 231? Who could get there first?
The matter of good administration.
What?
The matter of good administration is scholarship.
Really? That's not the answer.
One who gives protection from harm.
Yeah, this is, yeah. Shat means hurt. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Triety. So that's the answer to that. 231. Yeah. Another question as well from self-study. You can look. What is meant by Swadharma? What are the 2 types of Swadharma? So what is meant by Swadharma? What is the 2 types? That's mentioned in the purple.
Sanatan and Swadharma.
Good.
Sanatan Dharma, Swadharma.
Sanatan Dharma and?
Swadharma.
Whichever one you said?
Swadharma.
Yeah, what is the 2 kinds of Swadharmas?
So Swadharma is become spiritual and is not in the material bodily concept.
Something more specific. It's quite clear in the purple. Yeah, wages. Say.
Perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with the religious principles.
Yeah, so that's one Swadharma. Yeah, that's Swadharma. Your Swadharma according to your position in society, in Varnashram society. You have a specific Dharma, Swadharma. And then you have a Swadharma.
Spiritual?
Yeah, in relationship to you as a soul to Krishna, your specific duty. I don't know if I think it's here, perhaps might be here. But sometimes these 2.
Says discharging one's specific duty in any field of action in accordance with the orders of higher authorities serves to elevate one to a higher status of life.
Yeah, that's the material. It also, that situation will elevate you, give you the position to higher status of life. But situated in the Varnashram is you have certain duties. Yeah. So Prabhupada in one place says sometimes these Swadharmas, they clash with each other. Yeah. You have your material duties and you have your spiritual duties as well. So trying to balance the two can often be quite tricky. So that's the question. So there are two kinds of swadharmas. So swadharma means specific duty. That's what the word means. And there's two types of specific duty. And if you're not liberated, then one's going to perform the duties according to your situation in society, religious principles, in order to achieve liberation. Now, when one is liberated, there's also swadharma, it's your duty, and it becomes spiritual, yeah, and it's not based on the material bodily concept. So that's two questions there, you know.
So what are these?
Swadharma. It's a question from self-study. What is meant by swadharma? Specific duties. What are the two swadharmas? Okay. You were clear on that? Two swadharmas.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Please.
Haripal, yeah. So this swadharma, one is varnashrama dharma when some are in bodily concept of life. What is
Yeah.
the first one? Is it just swadharma?
That's
or should we call it like spiritual dharma or something? What's the word for that?
That's why it's interesting to note they're both terms for dharma, but one is in relationship to the simple way. One is in relationship to the body. One's in relationship to the soul. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So, Prabhu, I understand the material aspect of the Swadharma, and it's related to the body and the Varnashrama Dharma as well. But what is the meaning of based on spiritual and soul? How will we describe that?
Yeah, the Swadharma of the soul. Shravanam, Ketanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Parasevanam, Achanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam.
Okay.
Hearing.
Okay, so then 9 processes of the bhakti.
Serving Krishna, serving the devotees, chanting the holy name, engaging in devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Remembering Krishna, Smaranam, Parasevanam. Yeah. This is the Swadharma of the soul. Yeah. This is spoken also in the nectar of devotion. Yeah. That comes up. Well, you'll get to there in 2025. Sorry?
What would be an example of the material duties?
Yeah, what's the example of material duties?
According to Varna,
Yeah. Is your husband?
No.
No? You got mother?
Yeah.
What's your duties to her?
To respect.
Take care of her.
Yeah.
Make sure make sure that to unblock her sink when it gets blocked up. Fix the washing machine for your mum.
Right, okay.
Go shopping for your mum when she needs it. If you're married, you've got plenty of duties there. You've got children, your duties there. Pay tax, your as a husband or a wife or whatever your situation as a student. Yeah? Quite clear, yeah? All right. Okay. I'm going to get some blessings from the students and finish 2 minutes early.
Hare Krishna. I've got a quick question. How would you describe Sanatan Dharma? Is that the same thing as the spiritual duties?
One question. So Sanatan Dharma, is it the same type of Dharma as your spiritual duties? Yes, because it's in relationship to your eternal constitution as a servant of Krishna. Yes, so Sanatan Dharma. Yeah, thank you. Very intelligent correlation. So Swadharma, spiritual, is directly in relationship to Sanatan Dharma. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us for this third Bhagavad Gita, Hare Krishna. So we got up to text 31. So next week, hopefully we'll finish text chapter 2, okay? Okay, thank you for kind attention. Thank you for sticking through. It's a 3-hour class, and you think everyone did very well. Thank you, everyone online. I hope your online experience was good. If there's any feedback online of how we can improve things, then please do share with us, because we want for you to get a really nice experience as well online. So any feedback is very welcome. Okay, we'll try and improve things. Okay, thank you for kind attention. Hare
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
And no homework
Namaskara.
or read through the chapter 2, the rest of it, because it helps in the discussion. Hare Krishna.